And Gorilla Man's here.
Sorry, I just have a camera cover.
How about you just say hi? And of course, Captain Bootsy.
Yep. He's hanging out with me today.
And Autumn is around here somewhere. So no worries. She'll probably walk in and out as it goes. Hold on one second. I got to get something for someone. Oh, that's itchy. So what's everybody up to? I hope you had a good Christmas. Hope pulse check. How's everybody doing? Nobody's here yet, but that's okay. We'll just keep going. Vic, how's your Christmas?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
We watched the Doctor Who Christmas special.
We did.
I loved it.
Really good. I don't care what anybody says. It was good. So get over it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I wanted, where I wanted to put that.
My hair's green. I have a doodle. I'm doing pretty good.
Oh my God, Becky. Oh my God. Look at her. Never mind.
Here's my new water bottle.
Yeah. Did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
Yep.
Everything you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So.
Well, mostly.
Hey, Autumn, did you get everything you wanted for Christmas? Sweet. Well, except cash. She always accepts cash.
Yeah, me too.
Why is your screen not so bright?
Oh,
Do you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in dark mode. That's why.
Yeah.
Gorilla Man, did you get everything you wanted for Christmas? What, you're not going to talk?
See me?
Yeah. Everything went.
I don't have a light I could put on me.
Okay. What?
I don't have a light I could put on me.
Don't worry about it. It'll be good. Let's see. I was writing. Anyways, happy holidays. This is like for the first time in about 20 years, I think they were saying on NBC that Hanukkah actually starts on the day of Christmas, which is interesting because usually Hanukkah starts on my birthday, which is the 12th. So the camera is the cat. Oh my God.
Oh, great.
Becky. The calendar is a little bit off this year.
It's Dark Helmet.
What's up, Dark Helmet? Merry Christmas. Did you have a good one, my friend? Yes, I am a heathen. Thank you. Shouldn't you be playing with your dolls again? So, oh, golly. All right. So, this is the third annual Sci Fi Mombie's Taboo subject series. It was 5 minutes. That's funny. That's funny. So we have a whole list of topics we're going to cover for the next few weeks. Some we're going to pair up together, and then we will end it all. Did you just kick yourself out again? Good job.
Oh, boy.
Just work on it.
Bah humbug.
You know, the technical issues never stop at the Sci Fi Mombie house. Yeah.
There you are.
Yep.
And here's Deal.
There he is. Uh-oh. Okay. So we're going to start with religion. Next week is politics. I promise you, it's going to be a very controlled talk. I'm not going to have any bullshit. Okay. I've had people DMing me. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes. Because we do it once a year.
And no more.
It's done. It's done. Oh, nice. Cool. I love those hats. I think they're awesome. I want a beanie. I want an Orville beanie. Those look pretty warm and awesome. I really wanted a St. Louis Blues beanie, but they sold out at Costco. So, figures. So, like I said, we're going to start with religion. We're going to move to politics, and then we will end the whole series with mental health and maybe some other health topics. And then we will transition into what, Vic?
I don't know.
You're the one who came up with the name. We're no experts, but you can ask us anyways. Wellness series.
Yeah.
I do it every year at the beginning of the year because those things are important.
The Almost Wellness series.
Oh, shut up. It's totally wellness. What are you talking about? We talk about sleep, mental health, eating right, exercise.
I'm talking about in reference to ourselves.
Excuse me, Gorilla Man and I, we're keeping our weight off.
I'm trying to.
I know you are. And you need to actually get on that if you want the insurance company to pay for it. Ow,
Yeah.
I got to quit looking at you. I got to look at you through the camera so my neck doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So,
We're in the same room if you can't tell.
no, we're not. He's making that up. You almost got the beanie, Dark Helmet. Yeah, how's your ass? Put your hand back out here and see what happens. All right.
I don't bite unless provoked.
I bite. Anyways, so
Doodle, what are you doing? Get off my laptop.
tonight we're going to talk religion, and it's a very touchy subject, very taboo subject. As you all have heard us before, we technically are a Christian family. However, we have
Who you
dumped
calling
organized. Shut up. We have dumped sitting in a church pew. I'm sorry. We've just had it because it feels more like a damn country club than it does a house of God. And I'm not the
turned the house of God into a country.
That's right, they have, and they even have their own church now or school now, which really bothers me. Because I believe children need to be in the public schools. If you're going to call yourself a Christian, to shine your light bright for others to see if you want them to come to know Christ. That's my opinion. So I was mad though because my kid didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, Dark Helmet. That's not nice. Yeah, she should at least come see her grandma for sure. Yeah. Man, I miss my grandparents. I miss them. I always tried to make sure that I saw them during the holidays. So what?
I don't see you in chat.
What do you mean you don't see me in the chat? I'm not typing anything.
I don't see a chat. Is there no chat?
Show me your
You're on
screen.
mobile.
Oh, you're on. Here. Go down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that says comments?
Is this chat?
That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Does it
there
say
should be-
private chat?
There's chat
There's
and
comments.
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
You like your church. The pastor doesn't play games. Works for you. So you're going to church now? That's awesome. I know you and I talked at one time, Dark Helmet, about that. So, if I was going to try a church again, which I'm not, I can worship God wherever the heck I want to. And nobody's going to force me to sit in a pew ever again. Hey, Anoni Moose. Did I say that right? I hope I did. Anonymous. Welcome. Everybody's welcome here at Sci Fi Mombie.
Oh, I get it. Anonymous.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cute. And Merry Christmas to you too. I would either go Methodist, like contemporary Methodist, or I'd go to church mass with Autumn in the Catholic Church. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
I might think about doing that too. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I know.
Hold up. Wait a minute. You're serious, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Or Gorilla Man got it. Did you drop out again?
No, I'm still here. I just turned my
Says you're
camera
not connected.
Oh boy.
off.
Okay, I kicked you out again.
Just talk in the background. It's fine.
Your church is, I've also thought about a non-denominational church too. My problem is because of how Vic identifies, you know, there's not a lot of churches that are open and accepting.
Yeah, that's one of my reasons why I kind of left religion.
Yep. Well, you didn't have to leave a personal relationship with God. You can leave the church. But well, that's why I'm saying I might go Episcopalian or Methodist because they're okay with that. Okay. There we go. He's back. Okay.
Oh boy.
So a little bit of our story. I was raised Southern Baptist
Mhm.
my whole life.
Organized religion.
Yeah, organized religion.
Ugh.
I did what the pastor said a Christian wife should do. You know, kids and the husband come first. You keep a job. If you have to work a job, you make sure the kids are educated. You do everything behind the scenes so that your husband does whatever they want,
Mhm.
is what we were raised to believe. It's true. It's like that in the Assembly of God church. It's like that in any evangelical church. And after my grandparents died, we started seeing the true colors of where we were worshiping God at.
Yeah.
And
We were so far
unfortunately,
into it, I got baptized.
there's nothing wrong with being
I
baptized.
know.
As long as you believe in, you know.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying that's how far I went into Southern Baptist.
Well, and you can be baptized in any evangelical church and the Catholic Church. So, but it all kind of started collapsing in 2016. We had some friends who my step grandmother was posting her views on Facebook about abortion, and I am pro-choice, and these people started arguing and disrespecting and personally attacking my grandmother, and I came unglued. Next thing I know, I go to church the next Sunday, and they wouldn't let me in. And you were working that night. Girl and Man was working that night. They wouldn't let me in to do crafts. They wouldn't actually, I was doing crafts and teaching a class. They wouldn't let me in. The director came out and she actually asked me to leave the church that night. And I could come back to church any other time, but my services were no longer acceptable for the Cubbies program. And I felt a huge dagger in my back. Of course, we all know what happened in 2016. A certain person was elected, which we will talk about next week. And I started seeing people I've known for years who were the most level-headed, smart, I thought could see bullshit from a mile away, started turning against us. Started turning against my parents, started turning against my sister and her family. The culture war is terrible. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's why I do this once a year, because if we can get that out of the way, we need to have fun and have community here. I like to promote all my friends and all that stuff. But then I started noticing after my, we went through that 4 years of, oh my God, Becky. And then my grandfather found out he had cancer.
No, not on the laptop.
And then, and I had just had my gastric sleeve, and a lot of people turned against me then because they thought I was cheating. There's no cheating in gastric sleeve. Okay. I think that's my new, if there's no crying in baseball, there's no cheating in gastric sleeve. Let me tell you. It's rough. It's not a magic pill. Okay, Boots. But a lot of people started turning against me there.
He's mad I wouldn't let him lay on my laptop.
And so I finished up the church play. I have my gastric sleeve. We come back. COVID hits. My grandfather passes away at the beginning of February. And he not only had cancer, he had shingles. And they identified a form of pneumonia, which I believe was because there were like 5 or 6 other people in the ICU that had the same culture come back. So He passes away. Then a week later, my step grandmother passed away. And so we try to go, church was canceled because of mandates, which was the right thing to do. I don't care what you say. I worked at home anyway, so, I didn't get out very much. Yeah, I worry about that too. Anonymous. It's really scary. I've never, and George Lucas makes fun of that a lot in Star Wars, how the Jedi or the Sith can manipulate people who are weak-minded. He's got a point. Mm-hmm. But we started just doing devotionals at home. We didn't go back to church when they opened the doors back open. We actually kind of left the church.
Well, I never did. I just completely left religion.
Well, yeah, you did. You did.
I still kind of am.
Yeah. So 2020 was the turning point for me. We also had same people attack us over voting for President Biden. I think it's absolutely asinine considering he's a devout Catholic. I saw people who I had respected and admired for years, because we were at that church for what, close to 20 years? Would have been
15, 18, something like that.
Well, we joined in 2004. So it would have been 20 years this year. So 18 years. Who I looked up to were the brightest, smartest, respectful people turned to just, I couldn't believe what they changed to. These were people that were telling us, because Vic had a lot of behavior issues growing up. They were telling us, you could take him out in the hallway, make an example of him, beat his butt with a belt right in front of everybody. And in Missouri, that's legal. I even had, when he started posting things on his social media pages about his sexual identity, I had people DMing me that I need to send him to conversion camp.
No, and we didn't.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a funky 2.5 years. And my grandfather will be gone 5 years in February.
What I didn't like about being at that church was all the unnecessary drama that came from us having different beliefs than them.
Yeah, it's like
they always had an issue with us for no reason.
It was like, this is the only way to believe in Jesus Christ. This is the only way to believe in God. And it's not true. It's absolutely not true. I hate to tell you, but the veil was torn so that we could have a personal relationship with God. It was not only symbolic, but it was the truth. So, but anyways, what we want to do with this show every year is, highlight the different religions around the world. We can all coexist. I have a really cool GIF that somebody in the Orville community made up that says coexist. And I hate to tell some evangelicals, but they're not absolutely right. They're not. I felt this way for a long time since studying religion in college. I think we're all worshiping the same God, but we've taken different directions to worshiping God. But But you tell me your thoughts. Well, hello over there on Instagram. How are you guys tonight? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. And wherever you are across the 5 platforms, thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you. So Gorilla Man's got some interesting info on Islam that he has learned from some of the truck drivers where he works. Do you want to talk about what you've found out?
Yeah, there's some interesting things that I've learned. One of the biggest things is they are not allowed to touch animals like pets, like cats, dogs, stuff like that.
Really?
Because the Quran considers to be dirty.
Oh.
And so they're not allowed to touch something that's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Also, most people know that they don't eat pork.
Right.
But they won't eat anything that's touched pork either. Like if like say for instance, if I had taken a pair of tongs and grabbed sausage or bacon and turned around and grabbed their potatoes or something with it, they wouldn't eat it. Also, what a lot of people don't know about them is they do believe in Jesus Christ. They do not believe in his deity. They believe he was a prophet. They do believe he was virgin born, but they believe that he was translated like Elijah and called to heaven alive, and he never died. And he's still alive in heaven, and he's going to come back. They believe all that stuff, but they just don't believe he's God. They don't believe he's the Son of God.
They don't believe he's a part of the trifecta.
They don't believe he's a God in any way. They believe that he was just human and he was a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
But they believe that he's still alive. So what's interesting to me is they find Muhammad to be more important. And they know where that man's buried.
Yeah. And they chant and walk around it in a pilgrimage once a year.
Also, another strange thing is they won't use our towels. Like the truckers.
Well, I don't think it's strange. It's just their customs.
No, it's part of their religion.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a part of their customs.
They're not allowed. They only have their own personal towel. They're not allowed to use other stuff because it's considered unclean. So, and they will, no matter where they're at, stop and pray if it's prayer time. I've seen guys get out of their truck in the fuel lane and lay a rug down on the dang parking lot and pray. So,
well, Anonymous, I have to say though, and I don't know where you live on the globe, but here in America, because we were so persecuted by the Anglican Church, the Church of England, that we deliberately not only fought for our independence, but we wrote the Constitution under Article 1 that religion, you can worship under any religion in America. I see so much persecution in, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, all those countries that are just so strict, that it doesn't seem like the people have freedom at all. So you're in the UK?
I had one other thing that's not necessarily religion related when it comes to them, but they have a strange hygiene thing that it just baffles all of us, and it's the guys from Africa or Muslim, it isn't anybody else. They take bottles of water into the bathroom with them as a personal bidet because they're used to using bidets and we don't have them here in America. And so they take a bottle of water in there and they use it as a bidet.
Interesting.
And it's gross because we have to dump them out of the trash cans. They don't put their used toilet paper in the toilet. They put it in the trash can. It's just really grotesque. And there's other things in the shower, too, that I won't even mention that are even worse. But
yeah,
they just have strange customs. They have, and not that it's bad or wrong. It's just interesting that I found out just from working there watching truckers,
Mm-hmm. Hey, John the Beagle Dad, welcome. It's good to see you tonight. So, Anonymous Moose, Are you Catholic or are you Church of England? Merry Christmas to you too, John. Merry Christmas, Rue. Did Rue get any cute presents today? My cats didn't get anything. Sci Fi Mombie crew, because I ran out of money. But a lot of people don't understand the background between a few bones. Awesome. Between Islam and Judaism. And you can blame it all on Father Abraham. And a lot of people have taken that story and twisted it to their own agendas. We're seeing it more and more. Boxing Day UK. Oh yeah, is it? So when do you guys really celebrate Christmas in the UK? Is that what Boxing Day is then? I'm ignorant.
It's a different holiday, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is.
Well, they're 7 hours ahead of us, so it's the 26th.
Well, maybe it's the day after Christmas. Then.
Yeah. But here's the story, and you can find this in Genesis. Father Abraham, his wife Sarah, didn't want to wait anymore because she was tired of waiting on God to bless her with a child. So she went to Abraham and told him, take my handmaid, which is Hagar, and lay with her and have a child for me. Well, Hagar didn't allow her, to keep the child, to raise the child. Ishmael was Father Abraham's first child. And then Sarah got pregnant with Isaac. So that's pretty much the background. A lot of people criticize me because I hate to say it this way, but I dumb it down. But I'm reading it out of the King James Bible. I need to get Autumn a Catholic Bible and read it cover to cover.
I'm not a big fan of the King James Bible for multiple reasons.
Oh, I know. King James changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. If you look at the original Torah to the King James Bible, there's a lot of misinterpretation. Mm-hmm. And he did it on purpose.
They used it back then to control people.
That's right. Well, some places still do.
Well, I guess that's what the church had more power in England up until Henry VIII than the king did, pretty much. And then Henry VIII said, heck with that. I'm making the Church of England and the Catholics are gone.
You got to look at what traditional Catholic here. Okay. You got to look at what Henry VIII was doing. Divorce was not acceptable in the Catholic Church at that time. And it's still kind of not, but they kind of look past it anymore. He wasn't following some of the Catholic Church's rituals. Hell, they were even sending mercenaries to try to murder him and his kids, which were daughters, and the laws had to be changed in England so that Elizabeth could take over. But he said, screw you guys, I'm starting my own church.
He took all the wealth. He shut down their churches.
He confiscated all the Catholic money.
I heard about this one village who wanted to keep their abbey, and Henry VIII stripped everything, everything out of it. But they
didn't he burn it to the ground? No.
The townspeople went to him and said, "Look, we'd like to buy it back." And I think it ended up being the price of the metal in the bells in the tower, and something else, the value of the property. And they raised the money after 3 years, and they bought their abbey back.
That is absolutely true, John. That is absolutely true. They are running out of funds. Yeah.
Well, I believe I don't believe in traditional religion. I have 2 different beliefs. And the truth is, we never know what the truth is until we die and we reach whatever afterlife there is. But I either believe that, like Greek mythology, there's multiple gods, or that the universe is somehow sentient, and that is sort of what we believe is God, when in reality it's our universe that already has, can see our future and things like that and point us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to back up to Anonymous's comment here. And I want to point out something because I've studied the Bible so much. God and Jesus Christ say multiple times, no forced conversions. Islam does that to people.
Yes, that is one thing they have. It says, "Give them Islam or give them the sword."
That's right, and that is not how it works with Christianity. That you have free will. God gave you free will. I mean, you can share the gospel with people, but the Bible says nowhere to Bible thump them into believing. That's between them and God to choose Christianity. And I worry about, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to say it. I worry about Trump saying he's a Christian. He's not. Okay. No Christian would act like that. If you are a born again Christian, you humble yourself and you become a servant to others, especially God. And he's not the chosen one.
He only serves himself.
That's right. That's right. Look at all of the people he's installing for his next administration.
Yes,
yeah. Same thing happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Same thing happened. They even jailed the guy that his name begins with H, and he still got out and the people still loved him.
Well, this is that's what I'm saying. He actually fed people, though. I mean, I'm not trying to give him any.
Well, that was the way he
gave them food, and he didn't bribe them that way because they were hungry. So he gave them food. Oh, well, he's great because he fed us, and that's what Trump's doing to everybody else, thinking that he's going to give them all these favors, do all these things that they want done, close the border, all these no income tax, and all this stuff that these people are like, oh yeah, go Trump.
But instead of food, they're getting paid off.
And then they're going to get duped because in the end they're not going to get what he promised, and he's just going to take it from them.
And so the editor of Christianity Today, which is pretty interesting guy. What? Every text of the Bible has been altered.
Oh.
Yeah, of the Torah to the conversion from the Torah to the Bible has been altered. They're right.
Yeah.
He was on Meet the Press last week, and he said, I didn't vote for him. He's not portraying Christianity right. I worry about people thinking that that's how a Christian behaves. And I agree. I'm not the most perfect Christian ever made. I will never be perfect. I'm a huge sinner. I'm a huge sinner. But I am never going to act like that. I would rather donate my time and my money to help organizations and people. Like I like to give through my check at work to Ozarks Food Harvest because we've worked out there before, Vic and I. We need to do it again this year, by the way, next year. And it was really eye-opening. They do a lot for the community. So does Convoy of Hope. Convoy of Hope is located here in Southwest Missouri.
What surprised me is at the last election when AIPAC had their conference.
Mm-hmm.
They had a 10-foot golden statue of Donald Trump.
No, it wasn't 10 feet.
Or however big.
It was 6 foot something that hit the same height, but it was like.
It was gold, but it was made of gold. I don't know.
And do you know the story behind that piece of crap?
No.
Idol? People in AIPAC donated their gold to have it melted down to make the statue.
I mean, that's against
You know,
the Bible completely.
I know. I was raised to where our pastor went, and even our last pastor went every year to the conference. What's wrong?
I need Ben Drive.
Well, you know where it's at.
I can't go back right now.
Then you're going to have to wait.
The bottle's right behind you.
Anyways, back to, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't want to, you know, keep harping on it, but it's just like a level of, gosh, how do you say it? A level of insanity. Should I use that word? Where if there's a clear bottle underneath the bucket with my prescriptions, all the tablets are pink. You can't miss it. And I just worry. You know, it's like people that I have admired and respected for so long have only turned to him because they only vote Republican. Well, guys, I hate to tell you, but he's not a Republican. He's been a lifelong New York Democrat. And just because you change the state you live in, you know, doesn't mean jack. What does that say? I'm sorry, I can't read it. It's so small. Let me see if I can see it over here. Oh, it says game over?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's the beauty of this show is everybody can come on. Everybody can voice your opinions. I'm not going to ridicule you for what you believe. You know, we have the right to have our opinions. But, you know, please come back. You know, I believe in spreading the gospel, but I'm not going to browbeat or Bible thump people into submission. I don't believe that's right.
I believe that if it worked for you, then no one has any right to say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So switching to another religion, a lot of Jewish people, hate crimes against Jewish people have gone through the roof here in America, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know, let's chat for a moment about terrorist organizations in the Middle East. They are not, look, all the Palestinian people are not all Muslim.
A lot of Christians.
A lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics. They actually outnumber Islam in the Palestinian race. Okay. Look it up. If you don't believe me, go look it up. We can't put all the blame on Israel. We can't, because they're trying to protect their citizens who were abducted and murdered by these radical Islamic factions who have formed a terrorist organization. And you know what, John? They are the best friends you can ever have. You had a friend
More than one.
that was in the healthcare field, was going through coding school with you, or was it hospitality school?
It was
Coding school. Such a nice man. You know, he didn't try to push his beliefs on us. He didn't try, to force conversion. He was just a nice guy. I am fascinated. I have a brochure here. We went, like, before we quit our last church. We went through a series of Wednesday night meetings where they talked about religions, and boy, did they have a lot of their info wrong.
What was a lot of it wrong, negative info?
Well, like, they went over Christian Scientists, they went over Islam, they went over Scientology, they went over what was the other one? Buddhism and Confucianism. What's the one they worship in Japan? I forgot what they. I mean, it was just a lot of disinformation. A lot.
A lot of negative stuff.
Yes. Well, you guys were in kids choir while we were learning this stuff, and our Tony man looked at me and said, "Do we have to stay?" He was not comfortable with what they were saying. Now, I don't know if I'm honestly open to listening to Scientologists after I've watched Mike Rinder and Leah Remini go through what they have with a lot of their friends.
I think there's a big difference between a religion and a cult.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that.
That is Shinto.
Yeah, Shinto. Okay. That's what yeah. They went through all these religions. Like, they even went through the Amish. They went through the Quakers. I mean, they were just bashing every other religion. And the Amish and the Quakers are Christians. They were even bashing other denominations of Christianity.
Even Catholicism?
Yes.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they were. They were going through it all. And after you talked to your friend, I was like, it's insane. They brought in a missionary who bashed the cradle of Islam. It's like the parallels on that you mostly find Islam in. And I'm going, if that's how they choose to worship, let them. Real Muslims are not like that.
They're peaceful people.
They are peaceful people. They don't believe in jihad, even though the Quran says to do it. What you're seeing is the radicalized factions of Islam.
Well, I can also tell you too that I would never, if I knew the person was a devout Muslim, I would never worry about them stealing, like being dishonest, because that is totally against what they believe in their religion. So they're honest, they're clean people. Mostly they're kind, except for the women, but that's another thing. It's a culture, but
it's even in the Southern Baptist Church.
Well, there's other countries that really put women down.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of them are Muslim countries too.
Yeah, they keep women suppressed.
Yeah, I don't really.
Just awful.
It's just horrible.
Some of the things they believe about the way they treat women. Oh, I get you. There are, I mean, Christianity is so multifaceted after Martin Luther started the Lutheran Church. I mean, the Catholic Church, guys, the Spanish Inquisition, they were murdering their own people. Even if they said the right thing, did the right thing, they still slaughtered them. That's not what Jesus said to do. Absolutely not. I don't know what Bible they were reading, but Jesus never said those things. Jesus never acted that way.
He never even acted that way with people who didn't share beliefs as him.
Yeah. Martin Luther was a very interesting person. He got tired of he felt the Catholic Church was like the mob. And he just got tired of it. Let me tell you, they persecuted him out the wazoo.
I was going to say too that the only time that I ever see documented that Jesus even got angry is when he overturned the tables of the temple because of money changers.
Yep.
Other than that, he was peaceful and he
sharing the love of God with everybody.
With rich people, with dirt poor people, with prostitutes, with lepers, whoever was there and needed it, he was there.
He would rather have hung out. Jesus was a Jew, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
He was not a Christian.
Christianity like that didn't exist at that point.
Christianity actually started with the disciples because they took the word and ran with it. And then after they all passed away, it started getting, and Jesus's own people, his own Jewish people persecuted him because they got the Roman emperor to, yeah, exactly, King of the Jews. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that, John. Oh, okay. Oh, she's probably, never mind. It's like what happened, what was it, with King Arthur and the battle for Jerusalem? That is still a problem in the Holy Land. Because
the whole Crusades, it was
yeah,
a Muslim Christian war.
Yeah. And it's honestly, it's brother against brother because of what happened with Father Abraham. That song, Father Abraham had many sons, and many sons had Father Abraham.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But see, what a lot of people don't realize is Muslims believe in the Old Testament, most of it. Maybe not the prophecies of Jesus, but the creation, the stories about Moses and Noah and Abraham, all of that is included in their religion.
But like in their New Testament, which there are sections of the Quran that are,
I know it totally, instead of going and teaching about Christ, it starts teaching about Muhammad.
Yeah. I
still don't understand how they can consider somebody who's alive in heaven to be less important than somebody's dead in the ground. That blows my mind.
Yeah. Hey, Bronson, happy holidays. We did. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. I kind of envy Buddhism because of their peaceful nature. And they seem to have the better problem solving skills of everyday life. You can have peaceful discourse yet find a solution. I guess my thing about Christianity is how they've latched on to guns, how they've latched on to social issues like abortion and welfare and, hey, Sashi, just passing by. Oh, okay. Well, have fun grocery shopping. So it's morning there for you, isn't it? Yeah. I hope you had a good Christmas, Sashi. It just surprises me that people dog some of these religions. Who cares? Let them worship how they want to. What it's above, like I say when I'm talking about abortion, it's above my pay grade to make that decision. Did I need one? No. Would I choose one? No. I'd rather go down with the ship. That's just me. I would have fought tooth. I did. I actually fought tooth and nail to carry Tony Mann full term. And he went over by 2 days. I mean, that was worst pregnancy ever. I waited 6 years to have another kid.
And here I am.
Yeah.
I can tell you guys, I don't know a stronger woman than this one.
Yeah. Well, some days.
Well,
Some days.
As much as you've beaten in your life, a lesser person would make it.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, my last surgery will be the skin removal. I don't know, unless I have to have something done about my heart. But anyways, there's nothing wrong with my heart. But I have family history on both sides of heart disease. Let's talk a little about Scientology.
Okay.
And we'll probably get dogged on this, but you know, it is a recognized religion in the United States and around the world. Yes. My dad read Dianetics. Somebody handed it to him. He was going through these financial conferences with a broker house that's no longer there because he was thinking about a career change. And my dad's a pretty smart guy. He could do that stuff. But he read the book cover to cover and he finished it. Next thing I know, he's like charging out of their bedroom and he chucked the book in the trash.
Good.
And he said, "This is the most dumbest gobbledygook I've ever read." And Scientologists believe that aliens came to Earth and they resided in all the volcanoes across, boots quit it, all across the planet. And that's how human beings came to be. That's in a nutshell. You can go research it a little bit more if you're curious. You were working on Christmas? I'm sorry. Gross. Oh, I get it. Some people, you know, like Gorilla Man here had to work today. So, yeah, it happens.
Truckers don't stop.
That's right.
Hip hop, you know.
If you want to know more about Scientology, watch Battlefield Earth. It will absolutely give you a lot.
Or watch Leah Remini's show.
Yeah, Leah Remini and her ex-husband were so gung-ho into Scientology. She has, and it's in one of the episodes, she has a closet filled with all the books they forced them to buy. And a lot of her career, they pulled strings to get her the acting gigs. And that's why she stayed on King of Queens until it finished, because she was afraid that, you know, that's when she started breaking away from the Church of Scientology, that they were just going to not help her get any more work. That's kind of true, you know? So she turned to the documentary and talking to friends that left the church, and they harass people like Leah and Mike Rinder and people who leave the church. They camp out in front of their homes.
Because they're sore losers.
Yes. You know, the leader's wife is missing, and she's been missing for a long time.
Well,
I'm going to say 10 years.
Well, I don't know why people like Tom Cruise are still there after what happened to John Travolta. John Travolta is a tragic story because he believed in the religion so much that he didn't get his son or his wife help, and they died because of it. And I don't understand why somebody like Tom Cruise would see that and be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy."
Well, look what they did to Katie Holmes when
Right.
she left.
But it just,
Because she was a devout Catholic. You know, they try to tell you, oh, well, you can be a Christian and a Scientologist. No, doesn't work that way. They have these machines. What are they called? Honing?
they do something where
Yeah.
they test something.
Something. I don't understand it all. I just from what I've learned from Leah's show. But the level of I just feel so bad for John because he went gung-ho into this religion, and they don't believe in psychiatry. They don't believe in mental health. They don't believe in cancer treatment.
They can heal themselves.
Yeah. They don't believe in, like, you can't be loud during childbirth. Dude, that fucking hurts. Yeah. You're going to scream your head off. I mean, it hurts, and it doesn't harm the child. Babies, okay, kids don't really remember anything. And I've learned this from child development specialists until they're about 5. They don't remember. Sashi says before they leave, check out Falun Gong.
Falun Gong.
It's a new religion.
That
That's
my dad's
wild.
been reading about.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm gonna have to read the book.
Yeah, I need to
He
look
tried
into
to
it.
Explain it to me, and it just was like your dad and the Dianetics. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
None of it. But
Science fiction has never, and that's what I call Scientology. My dad's never really been into science fiction unless it's Star Wars.
That's as far as he went.
That was one of his favorites. Yeah. Like we took him to see The Force Awakens and he loved it. So, as much as I want to say, I want to see everybody convert to Christianity, it's just not reality. And I woke up in 2011 when the LGBTQIA plus won their freedom to marry from the Supreme Court. That was 2011, right? Or was it 2015? My best friend from high school, I consider him my brother from another mother. I had to do some big apologizing because I had dogged him for so long I feel I was brainwashed all those years from the Southern Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, I'm not trying to bash any religion. I'm not trying to convert you to any religion. There are a lot of absolutely outstanding people in all of these religions, even Satanism, even cults. They just get locked into their beliefs and they just don't move. I was that way for years.
Well,
Until then.
The church we were in was more like a cult.
A country
than a
club.
Church.
Country club.
You know.
No, it was a country club.
Those aren't too far off, though, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, when, the church before we moved to the one we just recently left, they laid it out on the line. They showed us all the financials, where money went every month, what the pastor got, what the musicians were paid because they paid their piano player and their organist, what the music director made, how much money the daycare center they had pulled in. Now, did they fudge some comments? Did they fudge some numbers? Yeah, we found that one out the hard way, unfortunately. Did we get persecuted for knowing? Did we leave the church? Yes.
We called out one of the more prominent members for being dishonest with the funds of the daycare, and we went to the pastor about it, and they basically shunned us over it.
Basically told me to mind my own business, and I was a sinner for bringing it to their attention.
Why?
Because they were on the take. It was a scheme between them all to line their pockets. Yeah.
Of course it was.
So we moved on.
I church went under anyway, and we got a new church in that building.
They've combined 3 churches into that building now.
3 churches.
Yeah, the original one that we were a part of, and then 2 others in the community.
Oh wow.
One of my coworkers actually goes to that church. She's been trying to get me to come back. Actually, I'm like, But there's nobody there that we would know anymore. It's all new people. Yeah. John says, I was forced to go as a child to church, got to be too much between scouts and everything else, and you don't practice now. That happens to a lot. Gorilla Man was hopped between the Church of Nazarene and Assembly of God and Baptist. Yeah. So, and his parents used it as, hey, get the kids out of the house. We'll have our own time thing.
Basically, daycare for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always went to church with my parents. Now, did we go every Sunday night and Wednesday night? No, because my parents work full time. And sometimes my parents had to work overtime. So, but that's what I learned from my parents, that you can worship God wherever. Oh, I get you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there for a long time, until a certain president, there was the Johnson Act that forbid pastors from preaching politics in the pulpit. And a certain president removed it. I call him the Orange Menace. And, I remember, because I was nosy while I was working on the newsletter for the church, and I had a key to the building. I could get in at any time. There were letters from the IRS, because we were a nonprofit, sitting on the treasurer's desk, and threatening to take away our status, because he had people like, he would preach it from the pulpit and then somebody would turn him in. We were shopping churches after we left that one, and we went to a church, and they brought in a candidate that was running for Missouri Senate. And that church actually got their nonprofit status revoked by the IRS. That's why they went out of, that's why they went out. They had to shutter their doors. But now they can preach that. That's another reason why I don't go to those churches anymore, evangelical churches anymore, because of what they preach.
Well, doing that back then is probably even more prevalent now, where they come and basically campaign. That's basically what he was doing.
That's right, because politics turns people off quickly from the salvation of God and Jesus Christ. Absolutely, without a doubt. It's really sad. It's really sad, because as you all have probably seen on my personal social media, I deliberately section it off on purpose. But I believe that people who are not true born again Christians are taking the Bible out of context and using it to promote their own perverted agendas in Christianity. And I hate to tell them, but when Jesus does come back, they're going to be left here for Armageddon. So, yeah, I get you. And that's why I do this every year, John, because I feel like we talk about it and we just drop it for the rest of the year. As I say, we're humans first. Always. Then we're a race. Then we're a religion, right? Then we XYZ. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, I don't even like to, like, even with people I've known for years, John, I don't like to talk religion or politics with them. And as we'll talk about next week, but I'll just give you a preview now. We're talking politics next week, 1 week from today. My parents taught me, because I always went and voted with my dad. Oh, well, I went and watched him vote. My dad he would go to, like, if people were holding a rally, he would meet the candidates. My dad was also a union man. So typically he would vote Democrat. He would never vote straight ticket. He would research the candidates and then he would vote on his beliefs after that. I still do that. I don't vote straight ticket. And because the internet is so helpful in this, I look up these people's credentials, where they went to school, what they do in the community. Did they start at the lower level of the community? Did they work their way to the top? Yeah, exactly. Because here in Missouri, we vote for our judges. A lot of states don't do that. The governor appoints those judges. I was shocked when I heard that. I was like, wait a minute. Not every state does that. So, but I mean, I heard in the past, like 5 years, there was a judge in Texas who was Muslim that was trying to enact Sharia law. You can't do that in America. No, it was in Texas, of all places. So, yeah, I don't understand that. If you are so gung ho for your party, why aren't you putting it on your literature? What are you afraid of? Ghostbusters, what do you want? Yeah. I mean, my God. If you're an independent, say you're an independent. If you're a libertarian, say you're a libertarian. If you're a Democrat, if you're Republican, put it out there.
Who cares?
Who
as long as you
cares?
are
What
respectful.
What I want to hear is your policies. You're respectful. You're going to listen to your constituents. I mean, absolutely be open to what your constituents bring you. But we'll talk more about that next week. But as I always say here at Sci Fi Mombie, everybody is welcome. I don't care what religion you practice. I don't care what your political beliefs are. Just be respectful, be kind. Yes, I also call it disinformation. They go hand in hand, and it's really scary. It's really scary. You know, I don't care, your philosophies. It doesn't matter to me. You're still a human being first. And you will always be welcome here at Sci Fi Mombie because you're a human being first. Me, on the other hand, I'm a Martian and I'm an alien. No, I'm kidding.
You're a Vulcan.
Yeah, got the ears to prove it. Do you need me to what? You get nothing and you like it. I just can't sit back. That's why I like doing this show every year, because I can get it out of the way, get my opinions out of the way, and move on. I just can't look at someone anymore and say, God, I just hate that person. Hate's a very strong word. If you're an atheist, great. If you're an agnostic Christian, great. If you believe in mysticism, awesome. If you're a Jew, wonderful. Seven-day Adventist. What are they? Wait. Hello. Seventh-day Adventist. Did I say it right? Okay. You're Catholic. You're Southern Baptist. You're Lutheran. You're Methodist. You're non-denominational. I don't care. I don't care. If you're part of the Church of Star Trek, kidding. It's Futurama, baby. No, but just love one another. Just do the golden rule. Somebody's having a bad day, if somebody's having thoughts of self-deletion, if somebody's, the one thing I always hated about what denomination we were is that mental health was always sin in your life. Satan's corrupting you was the story we always got.
And you don't need a psychiatrist or therapist.
You need hands laid on you. No. They disavowed science. I think that's why I'm rebelling so hard against organized religion. I believe God gave us science for a reason, and we should use it and marvel at the complexities of humans and animals. God made us all complex for a reason. If you don't believe that, okay, an almighty creator in the universe made us all complex. Or if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. That's your opinion,
I got a kind of a joke that's going to go along.
What?
What did the agnostic, dyslexic, insomniac do?
What?
Stayed up all night wondering if there was a dog.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know. I just wish, like we were taught all these years that we can only believe in creationism instead of real science, that physics brought the universe into being.
These people think that the Earth is only 10,000 years old.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The moon, this last week, there was a paper release that Autumn! She's doing it on purpose. They believe that the moon is 100 million years old. I believe that. I believe that. Wasn't that about the time that an asteroid hit the Earth and a big chunk of the moon popped off and made a moon?
What science says.
That is what science says. Okay, smarty pantses. Why are we finding dinosaur fossils?
And there's nothing in the Bible that mentions.
Yeah, there's nothing in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read the Bible at least 15 times in a row. Now, can I quote you things? No, because I believe the Uber commercial, you forget 10 things to remember something new. But worship how you want.
Mm-hmm.
Worship God as you interpret God as you want.
Or don't worship God.
Or don't. Yeah. That's up to you. Here we practice some of us do practice Christianity. We pray. Yes, we pray every day. We celebrate customs. We celebrate Easter. We celebrate Christmas. What's the other one? I'm blanking out right now.
Don't you just love when that happens?
I know it. Shut up, Vic. I know it.
Oh, do I have to?
Well, as Bender would say, bite my shiny metal ass.
Nuh-uh.
Shinier than yours, meatbag. Can you tell you know, the stuff I love is looked down upon. I love Harry Potter.
That you're crazy.
Well, I'll give you an example. The pastor's granddaughter at Do Not Play With That. I See You. Tony Man's here. Was reading Harry Potter while he was preaching in the pulpit. And when other church members found out about it, because they had heard through Focus on the Family that Harry Potter was bad and it was witchcraft and it was blah, 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 blah. I mean, they put out a list all the time of things that we should avoid. No. Stop listening to them.
You've yet to tell them what the elementary director did to us at the church.
Yeah, I'll talk about it here in a second. As I always tell you, go watch it for yourself. Go read it for yourself. There are so many banned books right now where people are told through the grapevine, gossiping, that the books are bad. They're not. Everybody should be represented in some form or another.
Mm-hmm.
We are not a Christian nation. Stop saying that. Did I scare you, Boots? We never were.
There's a separation of church and state.
That is correct. In the Federalist Papers, which are used when the Supreme Court is making decisions. And let me tell you, several of our founding fathers worshipped Satan. They did not worship God.
That's not what Satanism is, though.
They worship Satan.
That's not what Satanism is.
Okay, smarty pants, then what's Satanism?
Well, it's not where they worship Satan. It's more like, what do they worship? I can't remember what it is, but it's not Satan. Who they worship has been depicted as Satan before, but it's not directly Satan.
They worship Satan and his minions.
That's not what Satanism is.
Okay. But every religion has to be treated equal in the United States under the First Amendment. And there have been some very fascinating court cases in the past 10 years where religious groups were barred from using public schools after school for their clubs. The whole nonsense right now of forcing the 10 Commandments into schools. You know, it's being struck down everywhere for a reason. We have a separation of church and state for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to tell you, after watching Matt Gaetz, who says he's a Christian, that behavior is not godlike.
Nope.
So Gorilla Man brought up something, and that's another reason why we left our old church. The elementary director called us in for a meeting. He wouldn't tell me on the phone what the meeting was about. He wouldn't tell me on the phone why it was so urgent to come talk to him. And you know what's funny? I saw him in a store about 2 weeks ago. He didn't recognize me at all.
Oh, are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
Yeah, don't say their name. Which I thought was hilarious because he said he could pick me out of a crowd anywhere. But anyways, he told us, actually specifically to Gorilla Man, that he should be disciplining the child in front of everyone. Wherever we were, with a belt, didn't matter where we were. Well, I don't agree with that. Yes, Vic had issues. He's look, to that person who told us that nonsense. Vic graduated early, technically from high school with his GED.
Mm-hmm.
Early. Yes, Vic can be stubborn.
Very.
Vic has a temper. That doesn't mean you beat the personality out of your child.
Mm-hmm.
What else did he tell us?
He just told us that we had to have the kids there every time the church.
Yeah,
was
every time the
open.
door was open, no matter if we were scheduled for work or not. But they didn't bother to have bus service to come pick the kids up.
And he
So.
said we had to do that if we wanted to have a Christian family and everything else. That we had to do what he said, basically, or he wasn't allowed our kids in the church.
Yeah, and my dad flipped his lid over that. I was raised in a Christian household. We weren't there all the time, but we knew what was right and wrong. And to pretty much try to force that on someone is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see why we're a little jaded against organized religion. So, but anyways, that's the show on religion. We're not going to talk about it anymore for the rest of the year. Done. And I'm not talking 24. I'm talking 24 and 25. But as I said, everyone is welcome here at Sci Fi Mombie, no matter what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
We pay it forward for those who have supported us in the community. If you have a wrench and you've got channel stuff going on, please go ahead and post it in the chat. Stream Elements is scrolling for me a lot of our friends' info. Please go out and show them love by subscribing to their channels, looking at their content. I donate through my check at work to organizations I feel really need. I try to stay at the community level when I'm doing donations, but I do donate to the ASPCA and Planned Parenthood. Yes, I am proud to tell you I donate to Planned Parenthood. Not every Planned Parenthood in the country performs abortions. By the way, little hint here. If you have to have a medically necessary DNC, you're having an abortion. And it amazes me that when you say that to some of our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, and you leave off abortion, oh yeah, that's important. That needs to be done. Then why are you trying to outlaw it everywhere? Not everybody does an on-demand abortion.
Well, Missouri spoke out to the back.
That's right, we did. And now the Trumplicants are trying to take that away from us in the state of Missouri. How we can do grassroots efforts to get issues put on the ballot in Missouri, and it's wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, the office is currently closed.
The Declaration of Independence starts out, we the people.
Mm-hmm.
Not
we the government.
Not
We the government.
Yeah, not we the government, not we the religion,
Not
we the
church.
people, not we the church, we the people. We elect you. You work for us.
Public service.
You don't work for a paycheck from the federal government. You don't work for your own stinking agenda. Josh Hawley.
Filling in the next week's topic.
I know.
Religion and not politics.
Well, it goes hand to hand, honestly. That's why I do them back to back. Yeah, it does.
It really doesn't, though.
Honey, they're trying to do away with separation of church and state right now. Be careful. Yeah. I found that close to the litter box.
No, where's the drill?
I have no idea. I've been needing it myself. But I'll go back. You're welcome here anytime. I don't care what your beliefs are. I don't care what your political views are.
If you have a far right person come into your stream and then you call them a Trump pants, they're not gonna want to come back.
I only do that once a year. I don't talk about it any other time, and you know that.
You saying that is not gonna get good. But you know what?
This person that came in, they were gone quick.
Yeah. When I told him that wasn't right. Yeah. I have a feeling I know who that is.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll tell you after the show.
All right.
But I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I hope the rest of your week goes well. I'm not lucky enough to be off the rest of the week, but
I hope you have a happy new year.
yes. Well, we'll be back on New
Mm-hmm.
Year's, with the talk on politics, and we'll have a bunch of people on the panel, hopefully,
I thought you were coming back on the 17th.
of January. But I'm doing the Taboo Topics series right now. That's very rich of you, my dear, considering you don't want to be a part of the show.
You're just confusing with what you call it.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. John the Beagle Dad, Anonymous. Did I say that right? Sashi. Who else was here?
I was here.
Vic was here. Gorilla Man's here. Autumn's here.
No.
She's an illusion. Dark Helmet. And over on Instagram, Sorry and Millie and sorry, I'm not going to botch your username. I don't want to, do that. But thank you all so much for being over there on Instagram and X and wherever you were watching across the 5 platforms tonight. Let's see. Join me tomorrow morning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for the Galactic Cafe. And that's all I'm going to be doing besides the Taboo Topics series for a while. So everybody have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry
And
Christmas.
Later, party people.
Bye-bye.
Started it all. We'll go to pre-recorded, and we'll have a live chat feature Sunday nights beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. This gives us more time to have our guest on and have a little bit more discussion, a little bit more script. So come join us for the weekly show. I host a show Monday to Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, called the Galactic Cafe. Bring your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Bring a beverage of your choice, preferably in an Orville mug. And let's talk mostly about sci-fi. I host a show 3 times a week called Sci Fi Mombie Studios. It's watch parties, and on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, we do Futurama Mondays. And beginning October 28th, we're actually going to be watching the new season of American Dad. So come join us. On Saturday nights in the studio, we watch The Muppet Show, and we're currently in season 3. So that will start at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And also Saturday nights, we watch the 50th anniversary season of Saturday Night Live. That begins at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And in February, we will be watching the anniversary special watch party. CoHost Vic, aka Victoria Matrix, has his own show either on Friday or Saturday nights, beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, called In Drag. It mostly deals with LGBTQIA plus issues and other things that Vic's not allowed to talk about on the Sci Fi Mombie show. And as Vic says, be kind, be respectful, and be so in drag. Sci Fi Mombie has new shows joining the studios all the time. This is the newest one. Sci Fi Mombie didn't burn it. It's my cooking show. I show easy recipes, mocktails, anything, everything. But check our social media and other posts for show info and times. Warning, Sci-Fi Mombie Studios and all of our shows, we do not reach out through DMs or Facebook Messenger soliciting money from any of you. So please do not engage these scammers or give them any money. We have 4 legitimate ways you can donate to Sci-Fi Mombie. We have a Ko-Fi account, ko-fi.com/sci-fi mombie, so buy us a cup of coffee. We have a PayPal, scan that QR code right there, or search by mombie8@gmail.com. We also have throne.com/sci-fi mombie. Throne is nice. We ask for things and then you crowdsource or you buy them for us, and then Throne does all the shipping, so we never receive your information. It's totally private. Then we have Patreon memberships, and they're $3 a month. You get content you won't see anywhere else. It's the dry run for when our YouTube goes monetize. That's patreon.com/user lowercase u =849723553. Sci-Fi Mombie has its own merch shop at sci-fi-mom-b.myspreadshop.com. We have all of our logos for Sci-Fi Mombie Studios uploaded, and you can slap that on pretty much anything that we've chosen. We do have extended sizes in most of our merchandise. So once again, sci-fi-mom-b.myspreadshop.com. We also have our own website at sci-fi-mombie.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Send us an email. Check out the Sci-Fi Mombie security team and their cute little gotcha day information. Check out our former videos. We will also be uploading information about conventions we will be at and the gallery when we take pictures with you guys and talk with you. So check it out. And last but certainly not least, Sci-Fi Mombie is all over social media. We do have a new email, questions@sci-fi-mombie.com, but we stream daily to the Meta platform, which is Facebook and Instagram. We also have X, YouTube, and Twitch. We also have Threads, Discord, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, Blue Sky. Blue Sky is sci-fi-mombie.bsky.social. Patreon, Mastodon, IMDb, IMDb Pro, and Counter Social.